Hello, YouTube. Uh, Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, and I've decided to do a movie review. It's an old movie. Came out in 1993, directed by Joseph Rubin, and it is called The Good Son, which starred Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. Those were the two main characters. Um, I don't know why I want to talk about this movie, except for the fact that I think that the movie does make you think about what is good and what is evil. And I struggle sometimes with the word evil because, first of all, the word itself is annoying. It's spelled backwards as live, and Eve, the mother of all the godly children, and evening, like, the night. Anyway, this is evil's been a word that I've been like a bone that I've been chewing on for most of my life. And Most of the time I just blow it off and just go, yeah, we're all effed up, we're all evil, screw it. I don't know. What do you want me to say? You know? But but then, having been raised a good Catholic and having been faithful to my version of God and Jesus and Mary and the saints and all the good stuff that I was raised as a Catholic to put faith into, I mean, I still struggle with this evil and good thing. I mean, I try to be like my mom. I try to simplify it and just say, well, if you can kind of follow what Moses said, then you're doing pretty good. I try, it's hard. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we can ever really comprehend it. And I think that this movie is a great movie to think about it because these characters may seem suspiciously contrived, like just written for the purpose of thinking about it, but I think that it's bigger than that. I really think that Ewan, the writer of the story, and Joseph Rubin, the director, understood that this story is makes you think about something like Cain and Abel on a way more, I don't know, in a closer way. Because I mean, in the Bible, when you read about Cain and Abel, it seems so far away and impersonal. It's really hard to relate to either of them, and I think that the good son makes it more like in our world. Um, so here we go. Now, it was come out in 1993. I don't think I saw it in 1993. I don't think that's when I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it as a rental, probably from a Blockbuster or something like that. And and then I watched it again later on, like whenever it was showing on one of the channels. So I've seen it like two, maybe three times, and it's disturbing. It is. It's a disturbing film. I found it disturbing. Maybe it's not as disturbing as some other movies, but I mean, it's been in my subconscious. It's for a long time, and I guess it's because there's a piece of me that was hoping against all odds that that evil was just a nonsense. That's just a word that we made up so we could guilt trip people. I don't know. I'm probably, that was probably naive to just, and this is also discussed in the movie because Henry, the son that's played by Macaulay Culkin, says to Mark, the son that's played by Elijah Wood, he says, he asks him, "Do you believe in evil?" And Mark says, "Nah, he's kind of like how I've been wanting to be. Like, there's no such thing." But Mark is rudely awakened, and realizes that he can't be that naive, and that was what Henry was trying to tell him. Like, when he saw that Mark was like, "No, I don't want to believe that," Henry looked right at him and said, "You should." And I mean, I don't know. That's very scary. I mean, that was a very scary scene actually for this 10-year-old to be looking at the other 10-year-old and telling him that he should believe in evil. And then Mark realizes that Henry is sort of a psychopath, a sociopath, and we get a lot of more of story going on. So Henry has a sister, a little sister, and he also has or had a brother, Richard, who prior about a year before Mark gets to visit with this section of his family, Richard was drowned. That's what we find out. Richard drowned a year previous to Mark getting at this setting, and they're in I don't know if it really matters, but they're in Rock Harbor, Maine, and Mark, the little boy, his mother just died, so I guess his father is having him stay with his aunt and uncle and these cousins. So, okay, Mark first realizes that Henry is seriously a psycho when Henry throws this like mannequin dummy thing off of a bridge into the highway, and it causes a big accident smash up, and Mark is horrified, and Henry's just laughing like, like it was just something fun to do. So that's when Mark realizes, but he's trying to, he wants to say something to the Henry's parents, but Henry's threatening him and, you know, scaring the crap out of him, basically saying that if Mark says anything, then, worse things are going to happen. So Mark's terrified. And then, uh, then Henry gets it in his head that he wants to kill his little sister. I'm not really sure why. I really haven't figured out. But there must be some kind of clue I'm missing, because we do find out why that Henry did kill his brother Richard, and we also find out why he killed his brother Richard over a toy duck. It was a toy duck, and I guess his mother gave Henry's toy duck to Richard, and Henry was pissed, so Henry killed Richard about the toy duck. And I don't know if that's something similar is happening like that with his sister Connie, but he takes Connie to the ice rink to throw her into the soft spot on the ice so she'll drown. And Henry I guess Henry knew that, or excuse me, Mark knew that Henry was going to do that. So Mark tries to get out there and save Connie, but by the time they do save Connie, she's in a coma, and so she's pretty messed up. And then at this point, Henry's mother starts to get suspicious and starts realizing that Mark is trying to say something about it, but she's starting to, figure things out. And she confronts Henry about Richard because she found the toy duck, and she hadn't seen the toy duck since Richard died drowning in the tub that day a year ago. So then uh, then Henry tells Mark that he's going to kill his mother because she's starting to like Mark more than Henry or something like that. So Henry says that if if my mother's going to like you better, then I'd rather her be dead. Something along those lines. And so Mark's really terrified, and he doesn't really know what to do, but I guess Henry takes or gets this somewhere where there's this ledge, and there's the mother is like thrown off the ledge, and then Henry's trying to pull her up, but then Henry and Mark are fighting, and then she pulls herself up off the ledge, and then both the boys are off the ledge, and she's basically got them both, and she's got to pull one up. She's got to pull up Henry, her own son, who she realized has just tried to kill her daughter and her other son, or she has to save her nephew Mark, because she can't save both of them because she's only got enough strength to save one. So she chooses her nephew Mark and pulls up Mark, and Henry drops to his death. Okay, so that's the end of the movie, pretty much. And that's, I guess, why it's called The Good Son, because at the end she had to make a choice. Which one was she going to pull up off the ledge? And she didn't choose. She didn't choose her own son because I guess she realized. I mean, you can't really blame her though. I mean, he's trying to kill her. Sorry, that's just so tweaked. I mean, would you want to save the person who's trying to kill you? I don't know. I mean, there's a limit to motherly love. At that point, I think she made the right choice. But anyway, this is a really interesting movie. Not just because of there's some biblical references. I mean, you can see the Cain and Abel analogy, but I am also seeing this question about good and evil, and it really is eerie when Henry and Mark are talking, and Henry's constantly trying to explain to Mark that he's naive and that he doesn't he has no idea what evil is, and that he needs to be aware of it. And I think it's just kind of jolting to see a 10-year-old, saying these things, because you're just I mean, I wasn't like that, I was still, naive at 10 years old. So to comprehend it and to accept it on the level that Henry's accepting it at 10 years old is sort of stunning. Um, but this also, I mean, you know, a 10-year-old murderer, that's not somebody you usually suspect. That's not the usual suspects, a 10-year-old, I mean, yeah, okay, if they go hunting or if they kill a bird or something like that, you go, that's just boys will be boys. But I mean, he killed his brother, and he was trying to kill his sister and his mother. So that's not just your typical boys will be boys. All right. Anyway, and there's another biblical thing I was thinking about, Psalm 8:2 or something that led to the out of the mouth of babes kind of thing, where praise comes from the children and all that. I think it's kind of like the opposite of that, like the opposite of Psalm 8:2 or whatever it is. It's like instead of the praise coming from the children, it's more like the hate and the evil, which has been done in other movies and other books. It's been described, and even in songs. I have a lot of references to a lot of people who think that evil is best demonstrated out of children. And I mean, honestly, this is kind of why I kind of prefer adults and old people, because I mean, at least they have a semblance of civility. Whereas if you see kids in school or on the playground, you can really see and remember how cruel they can be. They gang up on other people, they up other people, and they have no mercy. I mean, when they're in cruel mode, they're very ugly. I know we go, oh, how cute little kids, but it's not cute when 5, 10-year-olds are beating up a weaker one. It's not cute anymore. So anyway, uh, there's a philosophy question about if we're all evil, then the good son is only good because he doesn't break the laws of Moses or men, and or of normal behavior, whereas the evil son accepts that everyone is evil, so it makes no difference to have or assert a moral compass. That's that's kind of the making of a psychopath or a sociopath. We're all evil. God loves us anyway, so we can do whatever fucked up shit we want to do. And that's kind of like Henry's attitude, which is terrifying if you think about that. Anyway, I do recommend the movie. It is an older movie, like I said, 1993, directed by Joseph Rubin, called The Good Son. I'm going to give it 4.7 out of 5 stars for the drama, the horror, and the acting. I think they were 4.7 is what I want to give it. So, hope that you'll comment about your thoughts on the movie if you've seen it, and if not, I hope that my spoilers weren't derailing you from seeing it because even with the spoilers, it's really worth a view. Have a good day.